Hello and welcome to Connected, a new segment here at the North American Star League where we reach out to our good friends in the industry and connect on so many cool new issues. Today we're talking to David Kim, game designer for StarCraft 2. We'll be discussing Wings of Liberty balance and Heart of the Swarm. David, what are you guys doing right now directly to impact Wings of Liberty? Is the game complete? Are you finished with balancing it? Or are you still looking at things that you can change and improve on before the release of Heart of the Swarm?
I mean, Wings of Liberty is still a live game right now, so we're just doing the same stuff as before. We're watching all the major tournaments, like in NASL. We're trying to get as much stats as possible, both in tournaments as well as on the ladder. And we're just always watching for issues that we can address, hopefully. So right now, we think the state of the game is pretty decent in Wings of Liberty, so we're not doing that much work on it. But if problems ever come up, then we are willing to do balance patches to address them. So I think like right now we just rolled the new ladder season, so we released like one new map and did a bunch of map rotations in the team game settings. And other than that, the only thing really planned for Wings in terms of features is the HoTS features that we're planning on, such as like groups and clans or resume from replay, watching replays together with your friends, stuff like that. All those features will go into Wings as well.
So as a fan of StarCraft 2, I want to ask you if you feel like the game has become stale at all. For instance, if we look at the map Daybreak, the metagame is really stagnated there. Players have played it out a million times in almost every single tournament, and they've sort of figured the map out. We see the same sort of builds, the same sort of unit compositions. So my question is, do you feel like players haven't discovered all of the cool unit synergies, or do you think that it's just map dependent how these games actually unfold?
I mean, that's somewhat part of the game too, right? Like for example, that's why we have multiple maps on the ladder, and I'm pretty sure that's why you guys use not just one map for your tournaments, right? So certain maps getting a little more stale, I think is just solved by replacing that map and bringing in a new tournament map, right? So I don't think that's an issue, but matchups in general, we're feeling like there are some standard strategies that most players are using right now, but within those strategies, we feel like there's a lot of there's enough variety that we think it's kind of cool right now still. But with that said, I think there are some issues in Wings of Liberty right now that can't be fixed with numbers, and we need to bring in new units to fix. So like Protoss versus Protoss is a good example of that. So we're really hoping to focus on those areas for Heart of the Swarm in order to address those things. And for Wings, we're kind of happy where it's at right now, and we're just really looking for issues that come up that we can tweak in terms of balance or just numbers, but we don't really have plans to, additional plans to completely change up the game, or there's no areas within the game that we think are just completely wrong right now that we need to address before Heart of the Swarm.
So jumping over to Heart of the Swarm, the first question I want to ask you is just how can people get involved? Everybody wants to know how they can play the beta.
Yeah, so we have the opt-in from Battle.net. I think that's the main way people can get in, and other ways are like we have, I don't know if the event's started yet, but we will have events throughout the course of the beta where people can participate in them and get a chance to be part of the beta. But not just that, we're noticing a lot of pro players are streaming HoTS beta games right now, so players can actually watch those games. And even if they can't play right now at this moment, they can watch and still have comments or feedback. And if they do, then they can give us those feedback in our community beta forums, and we'll be very happy to just go over any feedback players have.
Can you give us just a little bit of insight as to how Blizzard is approaching the design and the game balance of Heart of the Swarm? What are you guys doing to ensure that this expansion is just as fun and just as competitive as its predecessor, Wings of Liberty?
So internally, we have a specific focused StarCraft team going on right now, composed of the best StarCraft players within the company that also have a pretty good knowledge of game design. So we're using that group pretty heavily in order to just like really test internally before making changes to the beta, or if we ever have any ideas that we think could be good but are not 100% final, then we use that group to do it. And other than that, we have our beta forums, like I mentioned before, where community can give feedback, and we have a lot of community team members around the world that are watching it on a daily basis. And even within our development team also, we have quite a few people that are actually reading those forums, responding to issues that players have. And on top of that, this time in the beta, we have a pro feedback forum where pros can discuss strategies amongst themselves, as well as we participate in the discussion as well. So it's more of a collaborative effort right now to really work together with the pros, work together with their community to make sure that Heart of the Swarm is balanced as best as possible.
All right, David Kim, game designer for StarCraft 2, thank you so much for sitting down and giving us a little bit of your time. I know you're very busy. Is there anything you would like to say to your fans before we sign off?
I think Wings of Liberty is going pretty strong right now, and it's really important to watch tournaments like NASL, but at the same time, I think if players and pro players, both pros and our community members, if everyone just takes some time outside of watching Wings of Liberty tournaments to just kind of like look at the beta, give us some feedback, it'll just be really helpful for us. So just please pay attention to both live StarCraft 2 game as well as the Heart of the Swarm beta.
Awesome. Thanks again, David Kim. Thanks again to Blizzard for taking the time to talk with us.
Thanks for watching, guys. We just connected with David Kim, game designer for StarCraft 2. Thanks again, Davey, for sitting down with us. Now we're going to kick it back to the live broadcast for more StarCraft 2 action.